Well, we've already talked about the Eskimos' offense as they get set to head to training camp, and to watch that video, just poke around on 630ched.com. You'll find it. Let's talk a little bit about the defense, and I think, Dave, that's where the question marks will be for the Eskimos this year, especially at the linebacker position where two pretty big holes have to be filled.
Dexter McCoyle left for the San Diego Chargers of the National Football League. Otha Foster left for the Saskatchewan Roughriders to join Coach Chris Jones. You got J.C. Sherritt as the middle linebacker. Then you have some interesting variables. First off, who will be the Sam? We have no idea at this, but I can't even figure it out. We got to watch training camp for that. Who will be the will linebacker, the weak side linebacker? Some interesting names. Dion Lacey, the most notable. Corey Jones played pretty well last year. And then you have the two Canadians in Blair Smith and Adam Konar. And in fact, I talked to J.C. Sherritt this week. He said if Adam Konar didn't get hurt, you might have seen him contribute more in that linebacking core. So that is a very interesting position to watch in training camp.
Will be a good battle at that spot for sure. On the defensive line, they've lost Willie Jefferson to the National Football League, who signed with Washington. The middle guys have all re-signed and are returning. Odell Willis is under contract, so not a lot of change there. You hope Marcus Howard stays healthy. It looks like they could have pretty much the same group there this year.
If they all stay healthy, and Marcus Howard is always a question mark. I'm sorry, Marcus, but it's kind of true. Who's the depth? Willie Jefferson was really good at filling in at defensive end. They have depth on their D-line. But really, can Marcus Howard stay healthy the whole season? When he's on, he's one of the best in this league, but he hasn't played enough. So overall, I think when you go across the board, because I don't want to pick on Marcus Howard, but where's the depth going to come from, especially at defensive end, if an injury happens?
In the defensive backfield, the Eskimos lost maybe the best defensive back in the Canadian Football League in Aaron Grimes. He signed with the Philadelphia Eagles. That leaves a big hole to fill.
Well, I think, Morley, this is the weakest position on the defense is the secondary. And even last year, you look at their boundary side, which is the side closest from the hash mark to the sideline. You have Patrick Watkins on the corner and Marcel Young at half. They struggled last year at times. You got Koshi Mwamba at safety, who's very serviceable, but there are question marks about him. John Ojo on the other corner on the wide side. He's a lock. Who replaces Aaron Grimes? So I think that front seven, especially the front four, they're going to have to really be a good group to pressure that quarterback to protect the secondary, I think. And how does Mike Benavidez, the new defensive coordinator, plan to do that? Is he going to zone up more? Is he going to bring more pressure? Because remember, the more pressure you bring, the more exposed your secondary is.
All right, we've done offense, we've done defense. There's one other group, special teams, as Halsey likes to say. It's 1/3 of the game, Special teams, kicking-wise, I think that's a lock. It's going to be Grant Shaw and Sean White. The return game, that is wide open. We have no clue who's going to have that job.
Well, there's one name I'll mention, Jacoby Ford, former NFLer with the Oakland Raiders, speedy guy, and I think this is someone, when you talk about the newcomers coming into training camp, this is going to be at the top of the list of the most intriguing players to watch. For me, it's Jacoby Ford. Can he get the job done in the return game?
And you'll start watching training camp on Sunday morning, Commonwealth Stadium. Hey, you can too. 8:30, the gates will be open. You can come in and watch the first of two-a-days for the Eskimos as training camp is here. Is it June yet?